All right, guys, springtime is upon us and my allergies are in full bloom. Bring you over here, we'll show you a couple tools. We got string line, 100-foot tape, and an old screwdriver that we stick into the ground. We need that so we can lay out the front yard. All right, guys, here's my front yard. Not sure if you can see the white flags. Got a line of them here, and then we'll walk over to this one. We have a line of them here, and then we have a line of them across here. So we have two styles of irrigation heads. The first style is the full circle, and the second style is a half circle. And the way we laid our yard out, we're going to need 3 of the half circles and 12 of the full circles. We also picked up an orbit timer for I think it's a 6-zone system. So yeah, we're going to take you along for this irrigation process. I'm just going to put irrigation in my front yard. So stay tuned. Let's do this. Up here on this top corner, I just temporarily rigged one up on a garden hose just to see how they were going to spray, how far, how high. There's the head right there with the garden hose going down. Just kind of buried it. Not sure. Yeah, it's pretty solid already. So just got it hooked up to the spigot here. We'll turn that on. Let it run for just a minute. Yesterday, when I put it in the ground, I left it run for about 20 minutes. And it had good coverage and gave it some depth. Actually, if you look right there, that's where I kind of took my finger and dug a little trench to see how deep the water penetration was. Yeah, so as you can see, we have a couple of sprinkles on the house and a couple of sprinkles on the tree, and we're almost out to that flag and almost out to this flag right here. Matter of fact, the camera is getting wet right now. So I think our coverage is going to be pretty good as far as over coverage, because from that head there, we're spraying to this head. So when we hit this zone, that should spray to that head. So we should have double coverage all the way across our yard. So yeah, putting irrigation in the front yard. Let's go. All right, guys, typical Redneck manufacturing. We don't finish one project before we start another project. And why finish that when we can get started on one more project? So I went to a Big Lot store today and picked up some fittings, just picked up some T's and a couple of 90s, just to get an idea on how I was going to build this manifold. I have a total of 5 zones going out in the front yard, and I wanted to make it so that if I had a leak, I would have enough room to cut and put a coupling in there. But I don't think that is going to work for me. And I am going to pressure test it somehow before I actually install it in the ground. But here's what it's going to look like. This is going to be underground, and I have those 3 pieces of pipe just to indicate, you know, that the pipe is going to go underneath of this meter box. Now I know that I need more room than just that pipe, because you don't want the meter box sitting directly on the pipe. So the box will be up a little higher from the pipe than what you see now. But that gives me about 2 or 3 inches above the solenoid valve. And I think I'm going to take about a 1/2 inch out of each piece of pipe here. That should tighten everything up. And then on my line in, which is going to come in from right there, we're just going to bring that around and have a ball valve on that. So I can turn the ball valve off. The other thing that I would love to have on here is some kind of a fitting that I can hook an air hose to and open each zone up and blow air through. But I currently do not have the room to put that fitting in there. So we still have a little bit of work that we want to get done here. And like I say, I am going to tighten those 5 zone valves up. The unfortunate thing is, if I have a leak anywhere on this manifold, I have to tear the entire manifold out to repair that leak. I totally understand that, but with the price of fittings, the price of pipe, nickels and dimes, man, they add up, and they add up real quick. So yeah, we're working on the manifold. I don't have enough parts yet, but we will. All right, guys, I know that you've seen this, but we just got back from, well, I didn't want to tell you, but that place. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but yeah, let's see what we got. Oh, that don't even look like fun. You guys probably know how to glue fittings, so I'm not going to show this process. But I will show you basically what I got. This is going to be my manifold. This is not glued. That's going to be my supply end, and I have that a little tighter than the rest of them. I had to keep these spaced out, so that way when I put my valves on top, I have just a little bit of room between the valves. I don't have a whole lot of room. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to put a union here, come up with a spigot by male 90, which is going to be here. You can see that that has male threads. That is going to screw directly into the valve. And then I'm going to have male thread 90 on this side of the valve, going down to a union, going down to a regular 90, and then out to the system. So we'll have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. With that being said, we have clear cleaner. We're not getting it inspected. If it leaks, it's my problem. And we have all-purpose cement. So we have cleaner, we have cement. We're going to go ahead and start figuring out lengths of pipe. I do have a small piece cut already, but I think it's going to be too long. So we're going to figure out what lengths we need and cut everything, and then we're going to start gluing this up. When it's all glued up, we'll show you what it looks like, ready to be installed. Here we go. All right, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. We have a lot of little pieces of PVC to cut. So to make that process a little easier on myself, rather than use this old PVC cutter, we broke out the very expensive carbide tip blade, and we cut with a jig. So, you know, this is not really a jig, but just tighten that up. And then we would slide this piece against it, cut it, let the blade come to a stop, and then pull that piece out. Move it forward, cut it, let the blade stop. Because if I didn't let the blade stop, it would actually grab this piece and throw it or break it. So we had to let the blade completely stop before we lifted that blade up and got that piece out. But yeah, we cheated. We used the miter saw to cut all these pieces. There's 20 of them. And that's going to be a one piece for here, the union, one piece for here, the male, and then the same thing on the other side, times 5, which is times 10. So here we go. We're going to start gluing stuff up here. All right, guys, there it is. Manifold. I guess that's what I'm going to call it, a manifold. 5 zone valves. Each one has a union here, a union there. Unscrew that, unscrew that. That should pull right out. Be able to unscrew those, change my valves. And that was, you know, my wife said, hey, if you're going to do it right. I was trying to do it cheap. I was going to do it with a 90 and a male adapter, but we went ahead and spent the money for, let's see. A regular 90 is 71 cents, but those are $1.97. So that's not terrible, but these are not tight. I just kind of put this together. Everything is glued up except for this 90, and I have a 90 on the other end just to see how that laid, because when I put it in there, this was actually a mistake, but I'm glad I made that mistake. So this was supposed to turn down to go underneath the foundation of the house, and then this is supposed to go out to each one of the zones. But I messed up and I glued it on facing the same way as the T's. I think that's going to work to my advantage, because I would like to put a T, a ball valve, and then drop this back down and bring it back under the foundation. The reason I want to put a T and a ball valve is so I can isolate the sprinkler system, hook my air compressor up to the T, because it'll be either a female adapter or a socket female T. A female adapter, if you guys don't know, the girl gets it on the inside, the boy has it sticking out the outside. So this is a female adapter, and that would be a male adapter. But yeah, so if I have a female adapter on a T, I can thread, a snifter valve. I don't want to use a snifter valve, but I can use a quick connect, just like you have on your air hose, and connect the air to it. And then I can open each one of the zones up one at a time and blow air through it to blow, I'll say 90% of the water out. If you get most of the water out, the water that's in there, it's not going to expand enough to actually crack the pipes. And if I really wanted to, I could get some RV antifreeze, stick a gallon jug up in the air with a hose going down, and just open up the valve and force it in with some air. So there's a couple of options there. I don't want to put RV antifreeze out in my yard every year because it's glycol. So yeah, this manifold is officially done. All right, guys, you can see I got a spigot here, and if we walk down this way, you can see that I have a spigot down there as well. So the PVC line actually runs from that spigot right in the front of the mobile home down to that spigot. So we went underneath the trailer, we dug underneath the footer, went inside, came up and teed into the line running from one to the other, brought that out, stubbed it up in the air, and now we just trenched out through here. I have 10-foot sticks of pipe that I'm going to stub out to here. I don't have my trencher yet, so this is all I'm going to do for today. We're going to have to run and get a ball valve, 3/4 inch ball valve, and I didn't pick that up last night at Lowe's, but we need to pick up a 3/4 inch ball valve, put that in line. That way we can tie into our manifold that I showed you at some point during this video. And we're going to set that manifold down in there, put a little bit of dirt, and put that cover over top of it and fill all this right back in. So it took me all morning to dig it. Probably take me all afternoon to fill it back in. But that's what we got to do. That's what we're going to do. Here we go. All right, guys, let's take a look at a thing of beauty. I think everything is, either taped up, duct taped, or something, I don't know. And everything is fairly tight. We're going to put it in place and then probably tweak on the unions one more time. This is going to be my supply coming in. Let's see if I can, my supply from the ground coming in. I'll have a ball valve, and then I put this T in with a plug. I can take that plug out and rig up a bushing and a few other fittings to adapt to a quick connector for an air hose. What's that going to do? Well, that's going to enable me to pressurize all of this manifold and then open one solenoid at a time to blow the water out for the winter. So yeah, I think I got it pretty much how I would like it. Next step is going to be to take it out front, set it on the ground in the hole, find out where to cut this pipe and glue it in place. Once we do that, I'm thinking if we isolate that ball valve, we can turn the water on underneath the home going to the front. And then I have 5 sticks of PVC 10 foot long to stub out from the box. That way we can get the box set on top and backfill around it and get my mulch back in place. Let's do this. All right, guys, yesterday we dug this trench. We ran the pipe out. I marked the end of the pipe with that log. Brought the skid steer out. I'm not going to lie, I'm getting too old to run that shovel and rake, but I brought the skid steer out and we backfilled it with the skid steer. And I ran over it with the skid steer to kind of compact it up as far as I could, which was right about here. I ran a piece of pipe conduit up. That's going to go to my control box. Got an outlet right there. We can plug that in. And yeah, real happy with the way this turned out. This is going to be my control valves. Take the lid off. And well, my air valve isn't going to work the way I wanted it to. Might be able to redo something there, maybe drill the side of the box out at a later time, run a male adapter with a nipple up and bring it to the ground level. Didn't really want to do that, wanted to keep everything in the box. But yeah, every one of these valves have been tested. We bled them off, and you give that a quarter turn. Of course the ball valve is off right now, but you give each one of those solenoid heads a quarter turn and you can run each one independently. If you look down in there, right about there, you see that pipe coming in. That's just that pipe for the wiring to come in for the control heads. So yeah, real happy with the way it turned out, and it doesn't look real bad. Once we get a little rain, get the mud washed off the lid, that should look pretty good. Let's walk back through here. And I know everybody's gonna say, well, why did you cover it back up, dum-dum? Well, I have that Italian disease. It's called funzalo. So I have to wait until I can afford about 200 foot of 3/4 pipe. I know that's not a lot, but yeah, it adds up quick. And from what I already dumped into what I have here and under the house and what I have in the shed, you guys seen all the heads, all the fittings. It's just going to take a day or two to save up some money to finish this project. So we went ahead and covered it up. It's not going to be a problem. My pipe is actually going to come in right about here, right where that stop is. I don't know if you can see that. That's a stop right there, but all the pipes are out to here. So when I get the trencher, I'm just going to start right here and go this way, get it there, go that way, and then we'll tie them in. Not sure if I mentioned this to you guys, but my wellhead is here. We test dug all along there, found that well line so we don't catch it with the trencher. I don't think we're going to go down much more than 8-10 inches. My neighbor came over and he said, hey, you might want to be careful. These front flags are pretty much in line with where he had his yard marked for electricity. So I'm hoping that's not my case. But again, we're only going down about 8-10 inches, so I guess I better call Miss Utility. I'm